Hey, 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 it's time to talk comics today. What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Chubbyray Comics. I'm doing a live tonight. Figured I'd jump in, see what you guys are up to. How you doing? What's up, people? How are you? This show's easy. Just jump on in, and we just talk comics. Just gonna do a short show tonight. I've been recording videos like a madman. I just finished my latest DC Marvel rank off, which, oh man, it's a good one. It's a really good one. I just finished it, and I'm really taking my time writing these, and I'm writing, rewriting, editing, writing, rewriting, recording, editing, and editing. And I'm an hour and a half into editing, and I said, oh, I got to do a show. So I'll get back to it and see how it turns out. Also, I did a review I did something that I haven't done, that I haven't done in a long, long time. I did a review on a single comic. I reviewed the new Iron Man. I have not done a review on a single comic. Oh my God. It's been years. So, wow, it's crazy. It's crazy. And also, I had the shock of mailing giveaway prizes to Australia. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's $60 freaking dollars to mail a book to Australia. $60. So from now on, I gotta call a place in Australia and see what it costs for me to get gift cards from a place in Australia, because man, that's insane. That is insane. $60 freaking dollars. Oh my God. I thought Ireland was expensive. Oh my God. $60, insane. All right, let's see what you guys are up to. I see Lil Kanema. What's up, man? What up, NF? Thrill Hill, how you doing, buddy? Congratulations, you got one of those giveaways. Wesley, how you doing, Wes? Good to see you, man. I got Andrew in there. What's up, Andrew? Woo boy, right on time. I'm about to crack open 3 absolute editions that came in the mail today. Oh, dude, I got an absolute edition that came in, and you'll see it on, when is that haul? I just did a haul video. I recorded it yesterday. It's coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a haul video coming out at 9 a.m. Central. So that's pretty cool. That's very cool. I think you'll like that one. And on that haul video, there is an absolute edition, which is awesome. I do love some absolutes. Let's see. Sweaty look. Yeah, it is comfortable, man. It's so cold, dude. Here in Illinois, it's been freezing nonstop for like almost a month. And it's actually warmer today than it has been, but you know, by the way, this sweater is a size, this is a size, it's like a size 2 or something. I haven't been in a size 2 forever. I'm finally in one. So I do love this sweater. When I get my skin removed, I think I'll be able to fit. I might be able to get into a 1. It'd be nice. I've been reading X-Men Mutant Massacre Omnibus for the first time. Oh, that's awesome. That's very early X-Men. Well, omnibus style, outside of the Uncannies, but that's one of the first events, isn't it? Isn't Mutant Massacre one of the first events? Or am I crazy? Sadly, it's getting late here, so I'm going to watch tomorrow. Oh, sorry, man. Just ordered a bunch of Marvel Epic Collections, Daredevil by Brubaker and Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, that's awesome. That's a good, you got some good stuff coming. That's awesome, dude. What's up, Jose? What's up, Sean? There's Saran. Glad to catch the live stream. Was curious if you heard about the Amazing Spider-Man newspaper comics collected edition releasing. No, I hadn't heard about that. Holy crap. I got to find out about that. What's up, John? Good old Trip Crisper. Thrill Hill says, I got a Flash and a Green Lantern paperback in the mail today. That's awesome, dude. What up, Ray? I really need the Eric Larson Spider-Man omnibus, but I keep buying from Fanaticals every Monday on eBay because they're selling $38 omnis. I know, dude. How about that? I'm gonna buy some that I already have. I'm buying some for giveaways today. So they had some good deals. So I went and bought 3 omnibuses just so I can give away. Not to Australia, but I'll give away to American subscribers. $60. Yeah, dude, it's insane. It is insane. It's too much. I do have a plan though. I'll run it by you guys. See if I don't know if I run it by you guys or not, but I do have a plan for giving gifts to people who live in other countries. And I'll tell you about it. You guys tell me if I'm nuts or not. Yeah, it's crazy. Meyer says, should I just pay the Amazon price and stop being addicted to the Fanaticals eBay page? Listen, no, if you can get, I did buy a book from Fanaticals. Here's the problem with Fanaticals. The shipping does take a while, man. They take their time. You know what I mean? They're in no hurry to send it. They get the book. I think they dust it off. Takes a few days to do that. Then they take it and they wrap it. Takes about a week and a half to do that. Then they put it in the box. Takes another week to do that. Then they seal it up. It's another week. And then they ship it. So it does take them a while. But listen, you're only paying $30 for an omnibus. What the hell? I did see they have Chip Zdarsky's Howard the Duck for $25. I've never had that. So I'm thinking of buying Howard the Duck from them. I think I've got everything else. The stuff I need is all out of print and all cost a bunch of money. Yeah. Mutant Massacre is the first event. Yeah, it is. That's what I thought. I thought it was the first event. Looking great, Ray. We reached 32 degrees today finally. Oh my God. Yeah. It's better than it was. It was literally wind chills of 25 below. So, man, today was like, I want to say 30. I think it got up to 30 degrees today. That's a warm front. That is a warm front for what we've been having here in Illinois. Very Stanley sweater. Thank you. That's the look I'm going for. I'm going for the Stan look. By the way, I have my black glasses on. You notice I'm not wearing my blues. I wonder what would look better. What do you guys? Did my black look good, or does it make me look old? Or should I wear my blues? I don't know. I think I don't know. I think they both work. But I don't know. Fanaticals put up the first 5 Avengers. I know, dude. I saw that. They put up the Avengers. I have all of them, but my God, if I didn't have books, I would get it from Fanaticals. $30 they're running overstock. They get all the overstock books and they get them at great prices. Hope everyone's having a good night tonight. Good old Jack Solo. I just bought a Brubaker Captain America. I saw that. Yeah. I love it. Captain America. The Captain America Brubaker run is, I was no hints, but I just was using it. I was just using a Captain America Brubaker omnibus in a video I was doing. They had Unbeatable Squirrel Girl and Avengers X-Men for $38. Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, I need Howard the Duck. I don't have Howard the Duck, so. Saludos, Ray. How you doing, Federico? Jose says I should go with the blues. You like the blues? I want to go with whatever makes me look younger. I don't know if it's the blues or the blacks, but I'll wear blues for a while. Galadowski. How you doing, brother? Honestly, you look awesome in both, and you probably remember me asking where to get some. Good old Jax. I got my glasses from, what's the name of that place? Zenny. I think it's called Zenny. Hold on, let me double check. I get glasses from, I think it's called Zenny. It's a website, man, and they're cheap. I think these glasses were like $20. And a pair of glasses for $20 is definitely cheap. Yeah, it's Zenni, Zenny. That's the app that I use. I got both these glasses from Zenny. They're both, they want to say they are both $20. Texas boy who just flew to Jersey for a month of work. Saturday hitting up Forbidden Planet and Midtown. Oh my God, dude. I'd love to go to, I was just in Manhattan. I was literally just in Manhattan right before I got into collected editions. So I tell you, I got into collected editions in 2024. That's when I started collecting all this stuff. And I was downtown in Manhattan, and I was just thinking, oh my God, if I'd have gone there now, I'd have so much fun. You know, here's the problem with going with Midtown. Is you'd buy so many books and then you got to come home with them. You know what I mean? I know that I would overbuy and then I'd end up with like 1,000 pounds of luggage, you know. But if I drive out there, I don't know. Which part of Texas? Yeah, John. Just received Nightwing Bloodhaven Compendiums 1 and 2. Awesome. Diving into volume 1 as I speak. It does, Gary D, it takes a few minutes to get into Scott McDaniel. But once you get into him and your mind wraps around what he's doing, he becomes really, really good. Let's see. I just received, you got that. Sorry, I just read that. Stan Lee mixed with Mr. Rogers. Thank you. That's the look I'm going for. I want to make sure I get laid. So that's the look I go for. Stan Lee mixed with Mr. Rogers. My wife seems to love that. Do you know what Invincible? Of course I know what Invincible is. Come on. Chubbyray, I love your channel and energy. Do you read any current ongoings? Yeah, I just did a review on one. This review will be coming out, I don't know, like Wednesday, I think. Wednesday or Thursday, this is coming out. Yeah, I just did a review of it, and I love Joshua Williamson. I don't usually buy singles, but I love Joshua Williamson, so I got that book. And you guys will see the review. I don't want to spoil it, but also just want to tell you, you're the coolest, kindest person I've seen on YouTube. Oh, thanks, brother. I appreciate it. That makes me feel great. Looking good. Thank you, Flex. That's what I like. Flexmaster, you work out, right? I started working out I was 600. I was almost 600 pounds in 2019, guys. Almost 600 pounds. I started working out, and this is no lie. I'm not lying to you. This is 2019. I was doing a radio talk show, and I could hardly walk. My knees are so bad, I could hardly walk. I was in a wheelchair, you know, I could still get up and walk to the bathroom and stuff, but I was in a wheelchair, and I could hardly walk. And I started working out. There was a place where I live called Fit Club, and the guy who owns it, this doctor owns it, and he's a fan of mine from my longtime radio stuff. And he said, Ray, I'll give you a free membership if you just come out. He goes, I'll give you a free membership, and I will give you a personal trainer if you'll just come try it. The only thing is, I want you to talk about it if you like it. And I said, man, I got nothing to do after work. I'll swing by. So I started going out there. I started going to this club and working out. This is in 2019. Now I weigh 270 pounds. And after I get this, I got to have a skin surgery because of how much weight. I don't want to show you guys the skin. You'd be disgusted. But I got to have a skin surgery because I lost so much weight. And once I have it, they're saying I'll be down to 250. So that's pretty cool. You know, I just thought I'd share that stupid story with you. Gallandozzi says, Ray, you bought a single issue? Yep, that's right, buddy. I bought a single issue, and I'm doing a review of it. You'll see it Wednesday. Have you checked out the Spider-Man exhibit? No, I didn't. Some friends of mine just went up to they did a Harry Potter exhibit, and some friends of mine just went up to it, and they said it was really good. I know there's Spider-Man up there now. My daughter is a member of the big museum up there. I forget the name of it, but she has a year-long membership, whatever. So she makes me. I drive up every once in a while when she goes, and I haven't been. I gotta go. I'd love to see that. That sounds very cool. Just ordered a bunch from Crooks and Bandits. Awesome. Crooks and Bandits Comics.com, you guys. You use Chubbyray Comics passcode and you get a savings. It's like $2 off every book. I love it. I love it. John says he lives Greenville by Dallas. My wife was born in Denton. So that's over there. I guess Denton's north of that, right? My wife was born in Denton, so I'm familiar with the area. Worked last year in Cleveland, spent $600 sending shipping Omnis back to Texas. That's awesome. Dude, I've heard Dallas has some great comic shops in it. I've been thinking my wife, we own a house down in Corpus Christi. You guys, that's where my wife's from. Corpus is, I loved living. That was my favorite place to live. It was beautiful. It was on the beach. We lived in Corpus right near the island. Oh my God, it's beautiful down there. And it still takes, driving to Dallas is like a whole day, but I love Texas. I love San Antonio. I love Texas. There are things about Texas I hate, but overall I loved Texas. That's when I really got into comic books as an adult in Texas. There was a judge down there in Corpus Christi who owned a comic shop, and it was a fantastic, I can't remember the name of it now, but it was a fantastic comic shop. That's when I first got into singles and all that stuff. Do you think Blue and Gold Omnibus will go all the way? I think, I do. I think they're not releasing it in order like they did Volume 1, and then Volume 3 is coming out later this year. But Omar was hinting that, and I don't know, I'm paraphrasing. Omar was implying that he thinks Volume 2 is going to come out next year. So they'll have Volume 1 and Volume 3, although they're called something different. They'll have those out, and then Volume 2 next year. But I think the plan will be, Volume 4 or 5, blah, blah, blah. I think it's going to go. I think they're going to, they're starting. They're going to start from the 90s to, I don't know when they'll stop, but it is cool. I mean, that blue and gold era was what, 91 through, wasn't it 91 through like 90? When would you think that stopped? It was after Age of Apocalypse, right? It was, I'm trying to think when they sort of course, I don't know if they really phased it out, because it was a blue and gold team. One was in X-Men, right? And the other was in Uncanny X-Men. So I don't know how long those ran for. I mean, the titles are still going. So I don't know when they're going to end that era. I see Batman by Tom King omnibus on your shelf. Did you like it? Yeah, I have the Tom King stuff. I've read all the paperbacks too. I've had all the paperbacks. I've got all the paperbacks. I got the omnibus. I've got some hardcover stuff. I'm triple dipping on the Tom King stuff. And yeah, I like stuff people don't like. Like I Am Gotham. I know a lot of people don't like it. I loved it. I think it's one of the best. I think it's one of the best Batman stories. And I like the Tom King Batman run. There are some stuff. There are some stuff that there's some stuff that wasn't great that he did, but I loved it overall. I thought Tom King was great. Fanaticals has a real life story. Yeah, it's in Sacramento. It's in Sacramento. They have an actual place that they sell it. Have you read Batman and Robin? I read I love Joshua Williamson. Dude, Joshua Williamson's Batman and Robin. Let me show you. Where the hell do I have those? Oh, here we go. Yep. The Batman and Robin books, the father and son. Father and son is so good because you get to see Bruce Wayne as a PTA parent. You see Bruce Wayne as a PTA parent, and it's as cool as you think it is. Batman and Robin by Joshua Williamson's I thought it was a great run, man. But I love Joshua Williamson. The best thing that Joshua Williamson did was with Batman was, let's see, I'll show you these. He did a run of a series of Damian Wayne Robin. And look at these books. He did the Lazarus Tournament. This is a fantastic. This trade paperback by Robin. This is one of the best trade paperbacks. I'm going to do a thing of the best trade paperbacks of the last 10 years because this was fantastic. He did volume 2 this is part 2 of the Lazarus Tournament, I'm Robin. And then part 3, Streets and Shadows. It all led into one of the best Batman books. One of the best Batman books I think ever, which was Shadow War. Shadow War was phenomenal. And this whole run, that's a compendium, man, right there. That's a compendium or an omnibus. They got to put that stuff together. They got to put it together because Joshua Williamson's Batman, it also includes, he did Batman Abyss, which is a pretty good, it's Joshua Williamson. Joshua Williamson had a fantastic little run on Batman and Robin. He wrote Damian Wayne Robin. He wrote Batman, and then he wrote Batman and Robin. And I'm telling you, Joshua Williamson just knocked it out of the park. It was great. I love Joshua Williamson. Ray, what's your favorite X-Men stories? You're going to say I'm crazy. You'll say I'm crazy when I tell you my favorite, but I loved it. I loved the all-new X-Men by Brian Michael Bendis. I know some people are going to roll your eyes at that, but I just loved it. Don't get me wrong, there's stuff I like. I like I do like the blue and gold stuff. I like the Jim Lee Claremont stuff from the 90s. I thought that was great. I like the Claremont stuff, the 70s stuff, but that's not my favorite. My favorite stuff is the 90s stuff. And I think the Jed MacKay stuff, I like stuff that a lot of people don't like, I guess. I like the Jed MacKay stuff. So yeah, I like all X-Men, but I think my favorite of all time is probably the all new X-Men by Bendis. I just thought it was such an interesting concept of Beast going back in time and getting the original X-Men. By the way, I am accepting super chats. I'm not sure what they are, but I am accepting them, and my thing is set up to show those. So I'm not forced. Please, I'm not pressuring you guys. Just I'm letting you know that they are accepted, and I like when my stuff does what it's supposed to do. My streamer is supposed to be able to highlight that. So anyway, Yeah, that's I like the Bendis X-Men. I know you probably think I'm crazy. That's awesome. You lost so much weight. Do you know where I could buy Invincible comics? Invincible, yeah, you can get Invincible comics everywhere. Here's what you should do with Invincible. And there are great. Invincible has hardcovers, and they have some fantastic compendiums. But this is my advice: wait until April and get the new Invincible Omnibus. Image Comics is putting out their first official omnibus, guys. And I'm saying they're going to have an omnibus like Marvel and DC have omnibuses. Image Comics is doing it, and they're doing it with Invincible in April, guys. I have Invincible Ultimate Collection, the hardcovers, all 11 volumes are fantastic. I have the Invincible compendiums, all 4 of them. They're fantastic. I'm buying the omnibus because I just can't wait. I think the omnibus is going to be great. Very excited about it. Do you think comics and their stories helped you make your fitness journey? I find on the days it's hard to go to the gym, the vibes in these books sometimes help. Yeah, I'll tell you, I definitely, I think comics help with motivation in general. Like sometimes I'll be not motivated to get a video done or something, and I read a paperback. I'll sit in my desk and read something, boom. And comics motivate me to get stuff done. I think they're good for everything. John says, love your journey, bud. Oh, thanks. Thanks, John. Appreciate it, man. Chewy Queso, currently reading Superman by Morrison Omni. Is it awesome? I'm trying my best to comprehend. I don't have the Action Comics Grant Morrison by Grant Morrison. I don't have that. I'm thinking of getting that. I was going to check and see if they had it at Fanaticals. They didn't, but that's something I don't have. Chewy, let me know if that's good, because I do have some of the paperbacks, but I gotta be honest. Even though I have the paperbacks, I'm not remembering anything. So maybe I haven't read them. Based on your recommendation, one of the books I bought was Batman and Robin Year One. Yeah, and it was great, wasn't it? Did you like it? Oh, have you got it yet, Oren? Oh my God, it's so good. The only Spider-Man newspaper comics I've read are the wedding strips, including the Spider-Man wedding album collection. Through a few collections would be cool. Yeah, I do. I remember when Spider-Man was in the newspapers. I'm so freaking old. Oh my God, I wish I was young again. Wesley says, Meyer, based on what Omar from New Man Condition said, it'll likely cover up through Legion Quest. Age of Apocalypse will remain its own omnibus. Well, why don't they try reprinting it? Come on. Wesley says, went to Arlington, Texas last year for AEW All In. AEW. And it was really nice. Yeah. Love the content. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Built 88 airplane hangars. Is Corpus State on the island and loved. Oh, John, it's awesome, isn't it? I love living in Corpus. I'll tell you what. Living in Corpus was the happiest I have ever been. I loved living there. Loved living there. But you know what? They didn't pay anything. I was a morning show host on a rock radio station. They were paying me like 20. I was making like 20 some odd $1,000. And, you know, I mean, I was only 20. I think I was 21. So I was young, and that's fine when you're 21. But I eventually wanted to, I met my wife there, and I wanted to have a nice life. So if I wanted to make money, I had to move up. I had to get out of Texas, and that's when I moved to Illinois and New York. And so that's when I started making money, because they didn't want to pay anything in Texas. There we go, guys. Look, that's a super chat. Thanks, John. A whale of mine is Earth X Trilogy Omnis, but I always hear they are so hard to get into and understand. Thoughts? I've never read any of the Earth X stuff. Never read it. I wish I had maybe somebody else in the chat room has. You guys, anybody read Earth X Trilogy? Anybody read it? Let me see. Let me see if I can find it anywhere. I wonder how hard that is to find. Huh. I wonder how hard that is, Earth X Trilogy. Let's see. Let's see if we can find it. All right. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it $200 for the omnibus. I've never read it. God, now I'm going to be wanting this. Now I'm going to be wanting this book. Well, yeah. I'm seeing you can get paperbacks on Target for $24. But the omnibus is over 200. Earth X Trilogy Omnibus collects. Wow. I do love Alex Ross, man. I might have to get that. Who wrote it? Who wrote it? Jim Kruger. Jim Kruger and Alex Ross wrote it. Huh. I can't believe it. So it's hard to get into, huh? I'll have to check that out. I know nothing about Earth X, man. Now it's all I'm going to be thinking about, John. Thanks. Today I started Jeff John's Green Lantern Omnibus Volume 1. Oh, dude, that's awesome. The Jugan guy. Dude, you are welcome to your omnibus journey, my friend. And I tell this to people. People ask about, they're just getting into the hobby, and they ask me what's the first omnibus I should buy. There's no doubt about it. Green Lantern by Jeff Johns, Volume 1. You should definitely. That's a great first omnibus for anybody. I love that omnibus. I read it every year. I'm not reading it this year because I'm reading the compendiums, but I love Jeff Johns. I love his Green Lantern works. The only problem, Jugan guy, the only problem is when you get done with Volume 1, you're going to want to read Volume 2. And when you get done with Volume 2, you're going to want to read Volume 3. You know, you're not going to be able to stop. It's got to be volume. You got to, I'm telling you, I'm taking my time reading the compendium so that when I'm done with it, Volume 2 of the compendium will come out. You know what I mean? Because that John stuff is, although Johns doesn't write everything in the compendium, but that John stuff is so addictive. It's hard to stop. It's really hard to stop. Went to Broken Horn a lot. Awesome. Just started watching your channel. I love your videos and your great energy. Oh, thanks, man. Picked up Thor by Jason Aaron, Volume 1. Yeah, Jason Aaron's Thor. Jason Aaron's Thor is better when you imagine Chris Hemsworth's voice. And it got better when I was reading it, and I just started imagining that Chris Hemsworth voice in it. And then it got even more awesome for me. And I don't know how, it got more awesome because it gave me, I don't know. I just imagined, and I don't usually imagine an actor playing I watch the movies. I love movies. I love comic book movies, especially. But Chris Hemsworth, I think of all the different superheroes, that guy just enveloped. I mean, he just, my God, he became Thor. More than, I think, am I right? More than any other hero, more than any other actor who's ever played a hero, Hemsworth embodied Thor more than anybody else. I think he's great. I mean, Downey Jr. did really good with the Iron Man. So you kind of get the same from Iron Man. But what Hemsworth does is, when I read Jason Aaron, I heard Hemsworth in my head, and it really made the book fly by. I hated a lot of King's Run, but the first few arcs aren't bad. Yeah. I did not like the War of Jokes and Riddles. That was the one I hated, but I liked pretty much everything else. Wesley is telling you, Orrin, he says, I just read Batman and Robin Year One. Yeah, it's great. I've read it twice. I love that book. And I was shocked by how much of a fan of Chris Samney I was with that book, because I'm not usually a big fan of it. And what I'm reading now is the history of DC Universe. It's written by Barry Allen. It's really good. I highly recommend that. Do you know some website I can order comics from? Sure, there's a bunch of websites, Jax. Go to, of course, there's Amazon. Amazon you can order any book from. But there's also Panel Bound Comics is one. InStockTrades.com is one. CheapGraphicNovels.com is one. And the one that I love, because they gave me a code, Crooks and Bandits Comics. crooksandbanditscomics.com. crooksandbanditscomics.com. If you go there and you order something, if you put in the code Chubbyray Comics, you get $2. You get $2 off a book. Not bad. Yeah. So crooksandbanditscomics.com is brand new too. It's the brand new site, and I'm telling you, Orrin, you just ordered from them. They treat you right, man. I've had experiences with, I buy books from everywhere, and I've had experiences. I've had some unpleasant experiences from everybody, but I've never had an unpleasant. I've had a couple of Crooks and Bandits orders, never had a bad experience. Hopefully I'll never put a yet on the end of that. Let's hope that I just continue to get good experiences with them. It's always good when you get a place that takes care of you. You know what I mean? That actually does what they say they're going to do. Robin Volume 2 is out of print, and I can't find it anywhere. Oh, really? Are you talking about the paperbacks that I just showed? That sucks if it is. Ray, do you have any? Yeah, of course I have. How dare you? Yeah, I've got the Deathstroke the Terminator run. Then I have the 52 run, and I have the Rebirth run. So there's three. I have all three Deathstroke omnibuses. I love them. And the Christopher Priest one. The Christopher Priest one might be the best. And I have it on. I have it on paperback too, because I have an illness that I just can't stop. Look at Star Joe says all new X-Men was, yeah, I loved all new X-Men. I'm not embarrassed to say that. A lot of people didn't like it. I love it. I think it's great. Myers says, I bought 8 Omnis already this year. How many is too many for an average individual for myself, Ray? How many did you buy regularly before doing content? Oh, dude. Well, you guys are going to think I have you're going to notice my sickness. By the way, does my hair look darker? Does it look darker? You guys noticing darkness? I put, after I wash my hair, I put this, what's this shit called? It's called, I don't know. It's called something. It's some kind of cream or whatever. And I put it in my hair and got my hair slipped because I took my wife out to eat after I washed my hair last night. And, and I combed it after I put the stuff in, and it combs and it looks darker. Am I crazy? Let's see. Let me get back to the question. I'm sorry. What's too much? Okay, Meyer, in 2024, in the summer of 2024, I had none of this. And I want you to look. I'm going to let you look around the room. You see all this stuff? I had none of it. Let me see all these books? And by the way, those shelves go all the way to the end of the room. All the way to the end of the room. I have full omnibuses. I have several Calyx full. All the way to the end of the room. I have my Billy shelves, and this one's emptying out because I had to put the new shelves in my alcove, and I'm emptying that shelf because after I'm done with this broadcast, I'm bringing that shelf up to the front room because we're moving stuff around. All of these books did not exist in the summer of 2024. None of them existed. None of those cereal bowls existed either. And I had a lot more disposable income before I started buying all this crap to give away. Yeah. So I started all this in the summer of 24. And now I have, and I cannot tell you when I walk into this room, how happy I am. It makes me so happy. Everything in this room brings me so much joy. And I'm not joking, man. I love everything in this room. This room means the world to me, with the exception of my wife and my daughter. I do love my pets, but I do love this room more than my pets sometimes. I'm one bowel movement in the house away from liking this room more than my pets. Yeah, I love this room. Brings me so much joy, man. I love it. Just love it. So yeah, to let you know how much I bought in a year and a half. A lot of this stuff was bought within the last year and a half, which is crazy. I was doing some digital before that. And of course I used to collect singles, but I started doing collected editions, and I started doing collected editions in 2024. What's up, Blue Jay? Invincible Omnibus is coming out in March. Oh, I thought it was coming out in April. Oh, that's awesome. Now that's awesome. Superheroes always inspire me to do. Absolutely, they do. Yeah. I have the deluxe complete collection of Invincible and the compendiums also. And yeah, I want I mean, a lot of us are going to quadruple dip on Invincible when that omnibus comes out, because there's no way I can't get that omnibus. I don't know any way that I won't get it, because I love Invincible. I think Invincible is one of the greatest books of all time, and I love omnibuses. It's just a match made in heaven. I want to get into X-Men. That's why I asked. A lot of 70s and 80s are out of print. 70s and 90s are out of print. I'm thinking of starting with the Morrison run, followed by Whedon's. Oh, the Morrison run's a good starting point. The Whedon's run's a good starting point. If you can get the Whedon omnibus, is really hard to find, but there are, and the same thing goes for the Morrison omnibus. They're both available in modern epics that are in print. They're in stock. You can get the modern epic collections. You can start with Morrison or Whedon and be fine with it, with the X-Men. Or you can just start, you can get House of X Powers of 10 and start with the Krakoa era if you want. So go ahead and start with it. X-Men Blue and Gold is getting restocked soon. Yeah, I guess. Well, some places already have it. Some places have it. I know. I want to. I should probably know for sure, but I know of. I've heard that some places have already got it. It's supposed to be in for sure in March, but I guess some places already have it, and they're getting ready to put everything up for sale. So pretty good. Chip Zdarsky, Batman Dark Prisons. Do you recommend? Yeah, that Jose. That's the book. That's the one I liked. I loved the art. the art, but I did not like Batman of Gotham, and I did not like Failsafe that much. And I did not like the Gotham War that much, but I liked Joker. I liked Joker Year One. I loved Dark Prisons. Dark Prisons was really cool. And The Dying City. And The Dying City's awesome. I really, really like that. So, it's weird. I hated the beginning of the Zdarsky run, but I loved the second half of it. I really did. Earth X is weird. That's what I hear, Wesley. I've never read it. But I love Alex Ross's art. Love it. Ray, you should read Berserk. I don't want to get into manga. I don't want to get into manga because that's a rabbit hole, man. I can't. If I get into manga, oh my God. I can't tell you how bad. I'll tell you. I can't begin to tell you how bad that would be for me. I can't. Ray, you got to break your mantra. Check out Fractions. I tell you, I got a single. There's my single, Joshua Williamson. And I am already planning on buying Joshua Williamson's Legion of Superheroes when it comes out. Because I loved the Legion of Superheroes. And I love Joshua Williamson. So I cannot wait. I can't wait for Legion of Superheroes, and I will buy those singles. But yeah, I have heard that the Fraction run is really good. But I saw there was somebody on TikTok or YouTube that was they make their own omnibuses, and they had put together an omnibus out of the Fraction runs that have already come out. Or they put together a collected edition of it, and I'm thinking, man, maybe I'll purchase one of those. Let's see. Earth X is weird. Yeah. Haven't read the trilogy, but the original floppies. Yeah, I couldn't give any recommendation or not because I've never read it. Have you seen or ever read the saga? Oh, yeah. By Brian K. Vaughan. Oh, my God. Yes. Brian K. Vaughan. You know what I just ordered? I just ordered his Ex Machina. The whole one where he's the mayor. I just ordered that because I've heard how great it is, and I've never read it. So, but I like Brian K. Vaughan. I love sagas. Saga's very good. It is. If you guys ever read that, it's a very good book. I wish I don't have it in here because all my independents are in my bedroom. But yeah, and they have it's a beautiful omnibus, you guys. It's beautiful. It's a nice thick, and it's the part 1. So I don't know if the part 2 is ever going to come out, but it's really nice. Green Lantern by Jeff Johns, the first Omni I read, and you're not wrong. I had to get the second. Yeah, absolutely. You can't. Once you get done, you tell yourself, oh, I'll be okay when I'm done with it. But you can't. You cannot help yourself. You have to read the next one. Jeff Johns is so good. And his Green Lantern run is just, oh, my God. You know what? I think Volume 3 might be the best one. I love all of them, but maybe Volume 2, because Volume 2 was Blackest Night. But speaking of which, the Blackest Night omnibus is awesome. Yeah, I love all the Johns. Jeff Johns' Green Lanterns are awesome. I got all the Johns as well. Patrick Gleason omnis. Yeah, the Patrick Gleasons are cool. They're very cool. The how far are they? They're on the other side. I was going to show you my Green Lantern Corps, but they're on the other side of that omnibus. So, yeah. I know you haven't read a lot of the Godzilla. I recommend Godzilla was more. I have heard that. I haven't gotten it yet, but they're putting out a collected edition. When they put out the collected edition, I'm going to get a paperback of it. I will read it. Ray, did you pick up Iron Man? I don't know. Next. Yeah, there's a review coming on Wednesday. Kevin, there's a review coming on Wednesday about the Williamson Iron Man. I love Samney's art in the book. Reminds me of Bruce Timm style. Yeah, Chris Samney's art in Batman and Robin Year One is very good. By the way, listen to IP. Hit the like button, guys. Okay. Hey, thanks, IP. You're the best. You remind me because I forget that stuff, and I know I'm supposed to do it. I really appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you reminding me to remind everyone to hit the like button, guys. It means a lot. If you like Sam Neill, Batman and Robin, you'll highly recommend Firepower. I bought it, Star. I bought Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Firepowers. I've heard it's good from you, and so I bought it. That Crooks and Bandits flyer design is cool. Yeah, it is. I like it, right? Adam is so nice at Crooks and Bandits. And it's not I don't get anything free from them. I purchased things and they really took care of me. I think Crooks and Bandits, I wish them the best. I wish him the best. I hope one day it becomes a major retailer and everybody starts going. And it's because guys like us are going, guys. That's how you get an upstart place to become popular. You go to it and spread the word. That's what I'm doing, trying to help them out. Glad I was able to make it to the stream. Yeah. Hey, Jeff, congratulations again, buddy. Congratulations. Did you guys see the video? Jeff won. He won the freaking, oh my God. That can't be real. Is that real? Oh my God. Oh my God. That is awesome. Pastafarians. My new fave. You're the best, Pastafarian. Scud the disposable assassin to someone. That's awesome. All right, fine. I'll get it. Scud the disposable assassin. We'll get it. You guys, you'll see my you are gonna see my haul video on tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. There's a place where I live in Illinois. Guy used to it was a comic shop. And I used to go in there when I was buying singles and stuff. And he was just a cool guy. All he did was just, man, he smoked a ton of cigarettes. He drank a lot of booze and he read a ton of, that guy had a life. His life was comics, booze, happiness. He died. He passed away last year. And I don't know if it was a heart attack. I don't know if it was a heart attack that got him or what, but he had a comic shop here in this town. And he was known for just being a great guy. He was known for talking to everybody that came in his shop. He would talk about any comic at all. Like, you never wanted to get him talking about politics or anything like that. But you loved to get him talking about comics. He could talk comics. You could go into his shop, spend 8 hours, and he'd just talk comics to you. He would talk Legion of Superheroes, and then he'd turn around and talk Batgirl. He could talk Captain America, Daredevil, and then some Paper Girls, or an independent book that you've never heard of He'd know it and he could talk about it. But he passed away and his family got his shop, right? They got all his stock. Okay. The other thing he was known for besides talking was that he never bagged and boarded his stuff. Like he would put the new comics out. He always overordered everything and he would put new comics out. And then the next month they would come in, he'd just put them out again. So you could go into his place. If you hadn't collected for 10 years, you could go into his place and you could go back and you could find like 200 copies of a comic all in a row on his shelves. It was this guy. It was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable shop. So he passed away. And I always wondered, was his family going to sell all that stuff or what? Because he didn't have a lot of paperbacks or omnibuses. He had some. And this is why I'm bringing up the story. I was driving in town yesterday and his shop, which had been closed since he passed away, had an open sign. And I'm like, why is this shop open? And so I pulled up and I went and I said, hey, are you guys open? And it was his daughter. And she goes, yeah. And I'm like, what? I said, I didn't know you're open. She goes, well, when he died, we had all this stuff and we didn't know what to do with it. So we're just selling stuff for $1 an issue. And I went, what? She says, yeah, we're just selling stuff for $1 an issue. I said, you got any trade paperbacks? She goes, yeah, they're half price if you want any trade paperbacks. So I went in and I bought up all the trade paper. I bought up all stuff for giveaways. I just bought up all the stuff that I'm going to give away, guys. But while I'm sitting there going through the paperbacks, I looked at the comics and my God, you will not believe how many Marvel and DC comics he's got just huge runs of because he never bagged and boarded anything, and they're for $1 a piece. So if anybody's looking for anything that's come out in like the last 3 or 4 years, let me know. Send me an email. If you're anywhere in Illinois, I'll give you the name of the shop. And when it's open, you guys, they open on certain weekends and they're literally just selling stuff for $1 a comic. And I don't buy singles, but if I bought singles, I could have easily spent $3,000 on singles yesterday because this place is it's literally it's packed to the hilt with just single comics. But I bought a bunch of paperbacks. And I'm going to go back the next couple weekends and get the rest because you'll see some of the stuff I found when I do it in the haul video, but the rest of the stuff I bought for giveaways. So you guys will like it. But it was just I thought it was interesting. This guy's life was comics and everything, and he passed away. And rather than just sell the overstock, his family's just doing it at $1 a piece. And I just hope more people will go in and buy it and enjoy these books because comics are a joy, you know. What's your preferred version of history? I'm liking them. I haven't read all of it yet, but I like the Mark Waid one. I really love it. I'm really enjoying it. Since I'm in New Jersey, just went to a comic shop at the Chris Condon and Jay Phillips. Oh my God. I would love to meet Chris Condon. That'd be awesome. Second only signing at 46 after 30 years. Dude, there's nothing wrong with that. I've never been to a signing ever. I mean, I've had drinks with like the Image founders. Oh no, I take it back. No, it wasn't a signing. I got Joe Quesada to sign. It was in an elevator. I got Joe Quesada to sign something in an elevator. I was in an elevator with him and I got him to sign something in do you guys remember the old the Ray? It was the second Ray, the son of the original Ray. Joe Quesada put out a book in 89, 90, 91. And I was in an elevator in 91 and I had my comics because I was going, it was at Rosemont in Chicago. And I was in the elevator and I noticed Joe Quesada. I'm like, man, I don't want to bother you, but I have my Ray books with me. Could you sign them? He goes, yeah, no problem. And he pulled out a Sharpie and signed the books while in the elevator. It wasn't an official signing, but I did it's actually That's the only autograph I got. When I was having drinks with the Image guys, I didn't want to ask for autographs because, you know, they were just chilling out and drinking. I didn't want to come across as a fanboy geek, because that's what I was. I wanted to come across as, you know, I wanted to come across with someone that they would think is cool. I didn't want to let them know that I was, you know, and they like my wife, and I don't know, we sat down, had drinks. I had drinks with them, and they were really cool, but I didn't get anything signed. In hindsight, I wish I would have, because I'll never run into those guys again. And that was McFarlane, Liefeld, Valentino. Who the hell else was it was that initial run of Image. They went to Chicago Comic-Con. They were all there, and we got there the night early, and they were all drinking in the bar, all of them. And I had drinks with them, and I was too big a pussy to ask them for an autograph. Oh, I wish I would have asked. As long as it brings you joy, that's absolutely, man. That's why I love my comics. You must have enough cardboard boxes to build a village. All those books. Yeah. Well, yeah, you'd need it. You'd need it. That's why I don't, that's another reason that I don't buy singles anymore. Cause man, when I had my singles guys, I don't remember how many long boxes I had, just filled. Chip Crisper says, thanks for everything, Ray. Love the vids, but got to head to bed. All right, Chip Crisper. Good night, friend. Later, buddy. Almost 2,800 comics in a year and a half. That's a lot. Yeah, I love it. I love my comics. I also got, I got a little bit of an inheritance. My father passed away. He didn't leave me much. My father passed away, and we didn't have a great relationship. My father, he really wasn't in my life. He wasn't around a lot. My mother raised us, you know, my mom, God, I love him. My mom worked 3 jobs, and we had 6 kids, and, you know, thank God I got a scholarship to go to college. But my mom was great. My dad was never around. He finally, he got over, he had an addiction issue. He got over it when he got older, and he ended up having a nice career in, he ran restaurants, but he just wasn't around. He passed away in 24. And, you know, I was shocked that he, well, I talked to him before he died. I was glad we got a chance to talk. So we talked. I forgave him because I figured I was sick of having that weigh on me. So I forgave him, which actually was kind of selfish on my part, but it absolved those feelings and emotions that I had felt my whole life, by forgiving him. And then when he passed away, he left money. It wasn't a lot of money, but he left money, and he said, he goes, do something for you. He told all of us, he said, take it and do something selfish, do something for yourselves. And so I took 100% of the small inheritance my father gave me, and it turned into some of these. So, you know, and then my wife lost her mother last year, and her mother left a little bit of inheritance to my wife, and to me it was very nice. And that also turned into I think it's turned into my daughter's I think it's my daughter's using it for graduate school. My wife using it to pay bills, and I'm using it for, and of course I use my inheritance for these. Which now makes me look like some kind of dirtbag. But no, so yeah, I was lucky. I was fortunate that I was able to get all this stuff because the comics bring me joy, man. I get so much joy out of my comics. I get so much joy talking about comics. And I think you guys do too. I think that's why you guys enjoy the channel, because it's love of, I occasionally give a bad review, but you'll notice this. It's rare. Usually it's hard for me to find bad in a comic. When I get a comic, I love it. It's hard for me to find bad comics because I just love them all. Stick to your manga guns. Ruin me at 44. Yeah, I can't, man. Yeah. I can't get into, if I get into manga, I won't have anything. White wants to know, have you ever read any of the DC Black Label series? Yeah, I love James Tynion. Anything James Tynion. James Tynion is one of my top 5. You saw in my If I Could Only Keep 5. I love James Tynion. He's one of the writers that I would love to meet. He just seems like a great guy. I think he's fantastic. He's got a house, the nice house by the lake. That's Black Label. I guess now it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it's turned into Vertigo, right? They're going back to Vertigo. But yeah, so I've read that. I think that's good. B. Mitch says, hit the like. Yeah, hit the like, everybody. I love that. Great stuff on the channel. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Love the channel. I feel your pain on shipping costs. I recently moved back to New Zealand and I have been using Amazon US because of the free shipping. But the last book I purchased was badly. Dude, I got to tell you, I sent it. I had one of my winners, and I said this. I said, anybody wins it. Anybody. He's one of my members, and I said, if you're a member, I send it. And it was Kaiser, and I'm not blaming Kaiser, but Kaiser won Civil War. Civil War trade, it's a whole trade paperback, which is probably what, $29? It costs $60 to ship it to Australia. And man, next time I'm gonna call a comic shop in Australia and say, hey, I'm gonna wire you so much money, give him a gift card. Or I'm gonna find out a way where there's some place in New Zealand that if he wins something for me, just go there and use a gift card. Same thing with Waltz in Germany. Waltz is a place that will sell you books in Europe. And I got the one in Canada too. The one in Canada. I talked to the one in Canada. He said, yeah, just send him money for the gift card and he'll get the gift card to whoever lives in Canada. And they could just order from him and he'll ship it out. So I'm good. If you're live internationally, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do because, the shipping's too much money. It's too much money. But I know I've got overseas members and I think, I'll check. I think the UK, I think it was only 20. I think Scott Carney was $20 or 25. And I can handle that. Plus Scott, I sent Scott an Epic collection. By the way, I don't know if he said it, but I sent him Return of the Sinister, Revenge of the Sinister 6, the Amazing Spider-Man Epic collection. It's a great Epic collection. And I hope he's finished it because it is fantastic. So that's what I sent to Scott. But that's only $20, whatever. But $60 is just way too much, man. Riley says, holy crap, dude, you're awesome. Oh, thank you, Riley. I appreciate it. You rock, bud. Love you. Don't know. Yeah. John, I appreciate it. I don't do it for, I don't do this for accolades, guy. I do this. I do this because I genuinely like it. And I feel a kinship. I feel a kinship with everybody associated with my channel. And I get emails all the time from people who just subscribed, and it means the world. It means the world to me when people say how much they enjoy my enthusiasm. That makes me feel really good, because I sometimes feel I come across as too wimpy sometimes with the enthusiasm. But when it comes to comics, listen, life sucks a lot of times. I mean, life's wonderful, don't get me wrong. But there are many things in life that suck. There are only so many things that bring us joy, you know. My family, my wife, my daughter, and my pets, they bring me joy. My comics music brings me joy. My comics bring me joy. So I'm enthusiastic about it. Because, you know, it's not like the news. The news, I watch the news and I just get depressed. I read about politics, I just get depressed. There's so many things that suck. Comics don't suck. If I watch a presidential press conference, that sucks. If I watch, and it's the other side, if I watch a press conference from Congress, it sucks. If I watch any kind of news, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. I feel that we should all be up to date with things, but it sucks. I'll tell you what doesn't suck. If I sit down and read Shadow War, it doesn't suck. It doesn't suck. It sucks for Raj Al Ghul, but it doesn't suck for me. It doesn't suck for me. It's awesome for me. It's a comic. I love it. It makes me happy. It brings me joy. Comics are so special. They really are. So if you find something that makes you happy, that brings you joy, like comics, my God, that's what they're for. So I do get enthusiastic. Yeah. So I don't apologize for being enthusiastic. And I do appreciate the emails when you guys say that. It's very nice. Very nice. Oren says, very cool, Pastafarian. I've heard great things about Scud the Disposable Assassin. Somebody's going to get it. Somebody's going to get it. I'm going to get Scud the Disposable Assassin. Someone's going to win it. Johnson just loaned Pastafarian $100. That's great. I think it's great. Dude, that's awesome. Pastafarian is the man. Really enjoying your videos. Oh, thanks, Chief. I appreciate it, man. Ran a comic shop 2 years in 99. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I bet that was fun. You know what? When I was living in Peoria, I lived in Peoria, Illinois. I did a syndicated rock show. And it was high pressure, man. It was high pressure. It was a lot of stress. You're dealing with a bunch of listeners, and you're dealing with the sales, and all the sales wanted you to do this, and the management didn't want you to do that, and the community was bitching because we took up. God forbid, I used to do best of cassettes. I'll show you. I used to do best of cassettes and best of CDs. Like, here's one of my best of CDs. This is one of my best. It's laying on the floor in here, but here's one of my best of CDs. All right. Show you some of these. Okay. So these are my best of CDs. So my partner at the time was a guy named John Lamb. And John Lamb, one of the funniest people that have ever been on this earth. This guy was so funny. We put out a best of CD, and we were trying to come up with a perfect cover. And we decided, hey, this is good. We had this bathroom we had a bathroom in the radio station. And there were stalls, and there were two stalls next to each other. And they didn't and they didn't have doors. And John and I always thought it was funny. So we went down there and we dropped our pants and we sat on the toilets. And we sat on the toilets and we took a newspaper and we were reading newspapers while sitting on the toilet. And it was just a stupid picture. In fact, we were still wearing underwear. Even though we were sitting on the toilet, we were still wearing our underwear. We just had the paper covering that part of our body. So we took the picture and that was the cover of our best of cassette and CD. Okay. And then they thought it was funny. So the radio stations that syndicated us, they bought the rights to the picture and they put it on a billboard, right? So they put the picture on, and it's just a funny thing. And it said best of Lytle and Lamb, and we're sitting on the toilets. There were complaint calls from people in the city complained and wanted the picture taken down. They said that they could clearly see our genitalia in the picture, which, by the way, was impossible because we were both wearing underwear. We were wearing underwear. And someone claimed they could see, it was either mine or John's testicles. I was maybe 25 years old when I took the picture. I don't know how my testicles were hanging that low at 25. It would have been impossible. But we had to go through, we went through so much grief, and they tried to file an FCC complaint. So my life was so stressful. And there was a guy in Peoria, Illinois named Bob Gordon who ran the comic shop. The comic shop was called Acme Comics. And it's still there. It's still there. Bob's a great guy. And Bob advertised on our show. And so he would come by every once in a while. This is around the time Death of Superman and everything. So Death of Superman comes out. I get to know Bob. He becomes a really good friend of mine. And he knew I was stressed. I mean, I was really stressed. It was every night. It was pressure from the community and all this bullshit. It was just a bunch of stuff. And so I'm like, oh man, I just need something that's stress-free. I just need something stress-free. And I just wanted to get away and just do something. I mean, I still did radio Monday through Friday. I did radio Monday through Friday, but I just wanted to get away. And so Bob goes to me and he goes, if you really want to get away, he goes, you can just come sit in the shop on Saturdays. I go, what? He goes, the comic shop. I said, yeah. He goes, the comic shop opens at 10 o'clock every Saturday. And I go, yeah. He goes, it's open. He goes, it's open from 10 to close, but he goes, I usually have a high school kid from 10 to 4. And he goes, if you want, I'll let you do it. And I said, are you serious? He goes, yeah. He said, you know how to run a cash register? I said, seems easy enough. And he let me go into his comic book shop every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. He had a TV on in there so I could watch whatever ball game was on, or if the Cubs were on or something, I'd turn it on. And I sat in the comic shop, and literally it was a Saturday, so there weren't a lot of customers. And I sat behind the counter. They didn't have trade paperbacks back then, but I would read comics. And then occasionally somebody would come in, they'd buy something. I'd $7, $85, they'd give me the money and I'd ring them out. And I ring it up. And I'm telling you, it was heaven on every Saturday was heaven on earth for me. And I wore a hat because I didn't want anybody to know, I just, in case they knew who I was, I wore a hat and, and I wore I wore glasses, a hat and glasses, and they never even noticed it was Ray Lytle. They just knew I was the guy in the comic shop. I'm telling you guys, it was the best job I ever had. Best job I ever had in my life was working a comic shop from 10 to 4 every Saturday. And then I got a job in New York and had to leave, but it was I think it was the happiest I've ever been. I loved working in that comic shop and then every once in a while, a guy would come in, they'd start saying, hey man, what do you think about Spider-Man? I go, oh, I love Spider-Man. they go, who's your favorite artist? Is it McFarlane? Is it Larson? Is it Bagley? And it would just be conversations like that. And it would just be, oh my God, do you remember this? Do you remember the Return of the Sinners? You know, and it would just be comic conversations and it was great. It was the happiest I ever was. And that was before D&D and all the gaming stuff, but it was really a lot of fun. So Pastafarian, man, God, I bet it was great. When you were running a comic shop, I bet it was wonderful, man, because the happiest I ever was is the time that I worked in a comic shop. Don Smithson. Good evening, everyone. Happy to be here as Ray's Fanboy Geek. Hi, Don. Good to see you, buddy. Jason Mewes stole your lighter. That's kind of you know, that's a claim to fame, buddy. That's very cool. I love it. Ray, do you speak Spanish? I remember you mentioned, yeah, I was, from the time I could start speaking till I was 5, that's all I spoke. I spoke fluent Spanish before I spoke English because my grandparents were from Mexico and my mother's first generation. And I don't want to say my age, but my dad was in Vietnam when I was born. So my mom had me and she had to work. So after she had my brother, and then a year later she had me, and or no, I guess it was, I'm trying to think because we have the same father, but yeah, they had my brother, and then my brother was born in December and I'm born in October. So somehow it was all before my father left. Because my father was my brother's father and he's my father. But he went to Vietnam and then he got shot. It's a long story. But anyway, so my mother she had to work. And I was raised by Rafael. Parron. That was my grandfather. And he spoke Spanish. My grandparents spoke Spanish around each other because that was their language. They spoke English. They spoke English in front of their children, but it was just the two of them. And sometimes my grandmother's parents, her parents would come by, which was my great my great grandmother and great grandfather. They would come by and they spoke Spanish too. So here I was, a kid, being watched by them. They were my daycare, and everybody around me spoke Spanish, even my mother. So I spoke Spanish. I didn't start speaking English until when I was 5 years old. My family left Chicago and we moved down to South Central Illinois, and everybody in South Central Illinois speaks English. Nobody speaks Spanish. So yeah, I did. Spanish was my first language. However, by the time I made it to high school, thanks so much, Cesar. That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. By the time I made it to high school, I got a C in Spanish. So I was fluent till I was 5. I got a C in high school. However, my daughter, let's see, I'm second generation. So my daughter's third generation. My daughter speaks fluent Spanish. My daughter's bilingual, but she had to learn it in high school and college and stuff. And that's not her minor. Her college minor is in Spanish. Thanks, Cesar. That's awesome. I love the super chat. That's great, man. What's great about collecting is that you have so much to choose from. Yeah. And then you have, I do not have a YouTube. How dare you? I'm not Mr. Rogers. Yeah, Don, you guys, Don knows my mother. Yeah, my mother's really sweet, guys. She is. She's my mother's very sick now. She's, my friends don't even know this. My mother's in a rehab facility over on the northwest side of town, and we were over there yesterday, and oh man, she's got to get out of there as soon as possible because woo, oh man, things are rough in senior rehab. I'll tell you that. Pastafarian, thanks again, buddy. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Pastafarian's awesome, man. I love Pastafarian's my new favorite. He's the best. Good old IP. Ray claims he's out of practice in Spanish. We're trying to guilt him back in. You know, my daughter has been doing it. My daughter all the time will speak to me in Spanish. You want to know what's funny? If I'm tired, my daughter will come in and start speaking Spanish to me. Not so much, she doesn't live here anymore, but if I'm half asleep, my daughter will speak Spanish to me and I'll speak it back to her. And you guys who are bilingual, you know this. I'm not bilingual, but somewhere in my mind, the Spanish still exists, because if I'm half asleep, my daughter will speak Spanish to me and I'll speak back in Spanish. And then when I wake up, I go, what the hell you say? I don't remember it. That's a true story. I don't remember it anymore. So somewhere in my mind, though, it exists. Zach says, have you read the Bone series? I've never read Bone. I've been around it, but I've never read it. Big Q says, Ray, you look so much better when you do a comic show versus your more. Yeah, I do. I do have more time to get dressed because I do my comic show at night as compared. I do my morning radio show at 8:00 in the morning. So, Ray, I think we're all lucky that we went down the rabbit hole of YouTube and found your page. Oh, thanks, man. Possibly for some of us, a page like yours is what we're looking for. Thank you all Jose, I appreciate it. Thank you, my friend. Ray, do you have an idea of when Legion Superheroes coming out? Frederico, I know you're going to buy it. Joshua Williamson's got 2 people buying it. Me and Frederico for sure. Frederico, I've heard it could be coming out as early as May. I don't know if that's real. I'll believe it. I'll believe it when it hits. Oh, awesome, Aaron! Congrats, thanks, buddy. Welcome, Aaron. Welcome. I think you'll like it. I hope you'll like it. Yeah, I've heard it's coming out in May, so we'll believe when it hits the solicits. We'll know for sure. Oren says, Ray and everyone in the chat, has anyone read Last Halloween? Was it any good? I have it coming. I haven't gotten it yet. I just bought it from. Did I get it from Crooks and Bandits? I either bought it from Crooks and Bandits or it's in one. I have an order coming in. I have one order coming in from Crooks and Bandits, and I have one coming in from In Stock Trades. So it's either in stock trades or Crooks and Bandits. I'll remember when it gets here. Yeah. So I've heard it's good. I haven't read it yet. Oren says, Aaron's from one Aaron to another. Love your name. That's awesome. Gary D, I'm still going to call you Oren. Gary D says, I'm 61. When I was 6, I was in the hospital for 6 weeks and my parents bought me a bunch of comics. Gary, that's a great story, dude. That is fantastic. I mean, not that you're in the hospital, but it's great that's how you got into comics. Let me ask, do you still remember your parents? Did your comics make you remember your parents and that gesture? Because I swear there are times when I read a comic that I have recollections that just bring, back great memories to me. That's one of my favorite things about reading old comics. I told you I'm a big Legion of Superheroes fan. I'll pull out. I have some collected edition Legion. The omnibuses are so very few, but they do have some pretty good collections. And I'll go back and read some of those Bronze Age stories, and the memories they bring back are so great. I also get memories from, I have Justice League of America. I have a Bronze Age. I have a Bronze Age Justice League of America book. Check this out. This is a Bronze Age Justice League of America. This is stories from the 70s. This is when the Justice League would have their yearly crisis. The Justice League would have their yearly crisis crossovers with the Justice Society. Oh my God. It was so good, man. These books were so good. And I have these in collected edition. Plus I have the omnibuses. I have the Justice League Bronze Age omnibuses. You guys, they're so good. These bring back fantastic memories for me. I won't read this whole thing in a row, but I'll read it and I'll thumb through and I'll find a story and I'll go, oh, and I'll read a story. I go through and I find, and it's in the omnibuses too. If you have the Bronze Age Justice League omnibuses, which I'd show you, but I don't want to hurt my back. Plus I'm lazy. I'm going to show you. I want to show you some of the pages of the crisis, so you'll see them as soon as I come up upon one. When you get to the crisis stories, all right, here you go. Look, there is one side is the Justice League, and this side, that's the Earth 1 Justice League, and over here, how about I go over? Now it's the Earth 2. Superman, Jay Garrick, Flash, Alan Scott, Green Lantern. You know what I mean? So, and that would be Earth 1 and Earth 2. They'd come together every year. They do a bunch of crossover issues. Those are the funnest books to read. I love reading them, and they always bring back memories of times when I was in the 70s. I had a friend in high school, or a friend in grade school, when I first started collecting comics, and we'd go over to his house. His name was Mike Kokenauer, and I have no idea what Mike does now. I think he lives in St. Louis. I probably should visit him once in a while. He lives in St. Louis, and I have great memories of going to his house and reading Justice League. When I read through an old book like that, I just have those great recollections. So I wonder, Gary, do you have fond memories of your parents bringing you books in the hospital and how comforting that was? I think that's something that comics do to. I think comics bring us joy. You know, there's nothing wrong with sharing your joy with the community. You never know your likes and wants to know about it. Yeah, I love. That's one of my favorite things is just sharing my joy with it and telling people, oh, this is good. You got to read it. And then when people email me, and some guys know my phone numbers and they text me, they go, oh my God, I just read blah, blah, blah that you recommended. And I just love when they say, oh, but you're so right. It's so good. That stuff, things like that, that makes your day. That makes your day when you tell somebody, if you really, like I told you earlier about Batman Shadow War and the Robin paperbacks, although it broke my heart to hear it's out of print, but this stuff is so good, you guys. This Lazarus tournament stuff, oh my God. These books are so amazing. Trust me, you'll read this stuff. That'll be something you'll be sending me. Oh my God, Ray, I'm so glad. When I get people telling me you were so right, that book is awesome, that stuff makes your day. And that's not just me. That's you guys in the chat room. You know, you could tell other people in the chat room, hey, I read this, you should try it. Comics are the ultimate form of escapism. I love it. I just love it. I just love it. Yeah, thanks, Oren. That's awesome. Don't apologize for the enthusiasm. Yeah, you're right. I know some of my friends, and I have some very good friends And I know some of them give me a lot of they give me a lot of grief. I almost got myself that would have been bad if I'd have said that word. But some will give me grief about it. But man, I get joy out of these comics. I don't care. I know I'm a geek. I don't care. I know I'm a geek. I love being a geek. I love reading my comics. I don't know how you dealt with the listeners. So problematic. Yeah, I don't know, Don. How do I deal with the listeners? Hey, Ray, when you're reading comics, do you read in silence? Yeah, I read in silence. I do. I used to read with music, but I know this is weird. I'm a musician. I used to play in a rock band. And I might do it again, maybe next summer. I don't know. But when I listen to music, this is weird. If you guys, anybody who plays music, anybody who plays, you know what I'm talking about. You hear, there are some songs you hear and you just enjoy them. But if you're a musician, some songs you hear and you go, oh, that's an A into a G. Sometimes you start, you know what I mean? Depending on your pitch, you start thinking about chords and stuff, and it throws me off. So I try to read in silence. And then I absorb more too, because my attention span is not that great. And sometimes I got to read things 2 or 3 times to get it all. I wish I was like Omar, man. Omar's got a steel trap for a mind. I don't know if you guys know Omar from Near Mint Condition. He's amazing. His brain is amazing. The other one is Crushing Crisis. By the way, Crushing Crisis, what a mind. Remembers everything. Crushing Crisis is phenomenal. Fantastic. Walt's Comic Shop, you're online for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna call Walt's and get some kind of gift card things to where if somebody wins overseas, I just send the gift cards from Walt's and they could order whatever they want, because it's cheaper than paying $30 to send the book. I love interacting with you and your fans in the chats on your comic show and your morning show. Oh, thanks, Big Q. Big Q, you know I like you. It brings me joy and it makes my dingle tingle. Well, I'm glad you enjoy coming into my chat rooms, Big Q. I do. I like you too. Ray, do you have any stories you'd like to see in DC Finest formats? Yeah, I want to see more of my Legion. I love my Legion of Superheroes. I would love to see more Legion in DC Finest. The stuff I just talked about, the Justice League, Justice Society crossovers. Oh my God, I love to see more of those. I would love them. I'd find those fantastic. Those would be great. I just love it. Yeah, I'll go Legion 1, Justice League of America, Justice Society crossovers. I'd like to see a Ray Palmer Adam DC Finest. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see I'd like to see. I'm trying to think of what went long enough to get one, because you've got to go like at least a year. There are some runs. How about Legends of the Dark Knight, or Batman Shadows of the some of those, Sword of Azrael. Some of those would be nice to get some DC Finest. Of course, I'd love to see some more Robin Volume 2 compendium. Give me that. Let's see. I would love work. Yeah. NF working in a comic shop. And by the way, I didn't even get a paycheck. I didn't even get a paycheck for working in the comic shop. I had it worked out to where it was all trade. I worked in the comic book on Saturdays. He just let me have my books for free. I could afford them, but he didn't care. He was just a good friend of mine. I loved it. I loved it. It's interesting how much more mainstream comics have become. Absolutely. Absolutely. It makes me, I go to TikTok and I see the young kids that are into comics and how excited they are about new comic book day. And that it brings a smile to my face. It brings a smile to my face. Big Q says, Ray, since there are no good comic shop in town, why don't you open your own? Yeah. Yeah, it's too much work. It's too much. I would, it's too much. I think that if I owned one, I think the stress and all that stuff comics are my oasis. I hope you guys understand this, but comic books are my oasis. It's my heaven on earth. It's my breakaway from all the BS in life, man. It just brings me such joy. I don't want anything to ruin my joy. I had a girl I lived with when I first started buying singles again in 1989. I lived with a girl who was beautiful. I mean, she was beautiful. She was amazing. She was incredible looking. She was dumb as a post, but she was a wonderful person. But she slammed my comic books. We had to break up. You couldn't insult me for getting comic books. So I broke up with her. 6 months later, maybe it was 8 months later, I met my wife. I couldn't have met her. I would have never met her if I was still with that other girl. But I met my wife, and my wife has been cool. She's never complained. My wife never complained when I had singles. She's never complained about all this. In fact, my wife's the one who does all the mailing. If you guys win something, you see the nice handwriting that's my wife. My wife's the one who does she does all the shipping for me. She writes your addresses and everything. By the way, Aaron, my new member, says it's funny because he worked at a comic book shop when he was in high school, and the guy that owned it was a program manager at a radio. Oh, that's awesome, dude. What area you're from? Aaron, what city you're from? That'd be cool. That's awesome. Big Q says, so comics stole your lighter, Pathfinder. Oh, I'm sorry. Comics stole your, not Pathfinder. Pastafari and Chronic stole your lighter. You had a comic hero steal from you. That's cool. It is actually cool that he stole from you. Pastafarian's got a story, everybody. What's up, Ray? You started reading DC. Love it. About reading all the crossovers in Crisis. What's your favorite? Oh my God. I'm telling you, I love Crisis on Infinite Earths. I love Infinite Crisis by Jeff Johns. Is one of the greatest things ever written. But I'm going to tell you. And I open another Justice League. This is another Justice League book. The crossovers that they would have in Justice League of America, Bronze Age Justice League of Americas would have crossovers. See right here. Look at this, man. Look at this. They would have giant issues, and this is a crossover with the Justice League and the Justice Society and the Legion of Superheroes. Oh my God. This is the best Crisis of all time. It's the Justice League, from Earth 1, the Justice Society from Earth 2, and the Legion of Superheroes from the 30th century. Oh my God. And this lasts, how many? This goes on for like, man, this is the 1970s. These are all giant-sized issues. And in the 1970s, when they called something giant-sized, it was giant-sized. And look, and it would last for several issues. Look at that. You know, Justice League, Justice Society, Legion of Superheroes, all together. They were all together. And I cannot stress enough. I can't stress enough how much joy I got from reading these comics. Oh my God. If anybody out there who has the Justice League of America omnibuses, the Bronze Age omnibuses, you guys know, look at how long, look at how long those stories were. They were amazing. And this is the wedding of the Adam and Jean Loring. Which, by the way, if anybody ever read Identity Crisis, you know how ironic this is. Yeah, it's amazing. Those are my favorite crisis stories. Every year in the 70s, they would do a crisis between Justice League and Justice Society of America, and it would either be the Legion or something like that. And it happened every year. And if you buy the Justice League of America Bronze Age, which I believe they're reprinting Justice League of America Bronze Age volume 2 or 3. It's coming out this year. So I highly recommend it. Send you a big hug. Hope everything goes better. Oh, thanks, Jules. I appreciate it. And my mom's a great lady. Star says gonna be getting on a Legion as well. Oh, dude. So me, you, and Federico. All right. Well, by the way, I love Joshua Williamson. He's one of my favorites. I'm so excited. Oh my God. So excited about it. Just can't wait. Gary D says both his parents have passed on, but his mom especially. But it is nice. It's nice that you can remember that when you read your comics, you can remember them. I think that's something that's so wonderful about comics, man. You know, that's something great. When you go back, the memories that stir up from reading books. I think it's unlike anything else. Comics are unlike anything. The memories that you stir up when you read it. I remember I was sick one time. My mom and sister felt bad for me, so they got me an X-Men comic with Cyclops on the cover. They knew nothing, but when I see that issue, I think that's it. Absolutely, Star. You think of that moment, and you think of them, and you think of the love, and it's special. That's what brings the joy. I mean, it's the stories and the escapism that bring joy as well, but it's also sometimes it's subliminal. Sometimes it is subliminal. I was reading omnibuses. Mark Grunwald. I was reading the Mark Grunwald Captain America omnibus. And I was reading the David Michelinie, Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. And it got me thinking about when my wife and I were dating. When we were dating. And it subliminally, I was so fond of the book, of the comics. I'm like, God, I felt so good and warm when I read it, but also I just felt so good. And subliminally, I was thinking about the relationship with my wife and first falling in love, and the comics brought that. It brings you back. It brings those old emotions, those old feelings. They bring them up. It's amazing. Comics are spectacular. I started keeping a reading log because I'll read stuff and find myself questioning. Yeah, I wish I could do that. I'm so lazy. I got to do that. Orange is a great question for you. And you can answer here. Maybe save it for video. If you think you can make a good topic, how we're initially introduced to the world of comics. Oh yeah, that's great. In fact, that question, I'm getting ready to do, I'm going to start interviewing channel subscribers or show members on the live streams. That's one of the questions that I'll be asking everybody. I'm going to get Stars going to be a guest. I got several members that have sent me emails saying that they'd be willing to be a guest. So they'll be on. That's going to be one of the first questions I ask is, how did you first get into it? Give me a story, give me that story. What do you think of when you read through your old books? What memories pop in? Like Gary D just told a story about his parents giving him comics when he's in the hospital. That's a great story. And when he looks back at those books, his parents are gone. Both his parents are gone. He still remembers that. That's amazing. That's amazing. What stories do you feel fit best with DC compact format compared to the others? I think, boy, it's hard for DC compact because I can't read them. I can read DC compact, but if I read them, I have to hold them up like this because you're too young to know this, but trust me, B. Mitch, when you get over 40, your eyes, you're going to notice that your eyes don't work the same. And I don't need readers. I don't need readers yet. Thank God. But I'm nearsighted. So I need glasses to see distance. So I can read without glasses, but I got to hold it pretty close to my face. If it I'm fine reading like this. But if it's a compact, I got to read right up like this because, your eyes start to go to hell. So being an adult at my age, it's not our best format. But I know younger guys love them. And I'll give you this tip. Anything by Jeff Johns is an amazing story. Anything by Jeff Johns, Flashpoint, Green Lantern Rebirth, Infinite Crisis. I know Flashpoint's on compact. I don't know if Infinite Crisis is. It should be. All of those are great. Batman Hush is great on. I know Batman Hush is on compact because I bought it and couldn't read it. I ended up giving it to a nephew of mine. And it's great. So anything, any of those classic Batman stories, Batman Court of Owls is on compact. I bet it's great. I have that on absolute, so I have it supersized. But man, the other thing that's good about compacts, the price. Oh my God. The price is amazing. Kyle O'Reilly says, what about your radio show? I love my radio show. I've done that radio for God since 1986. I'm so freaking old, which is what 40. It's gonna be It's 40 years. 40 years. I started when I was a teenager in radio 40 years ago. So I don't talk about radio. I don't talk about my radio show because I know it's hard to understand, but I'm not the same. Like the Chubbyray that does this show, you guys, is I just love comics, and this is my geek side. This is the side of me that I have hidden for 40 years of doing radio. Because I did a raunchy rock radio comedy show. That's the type of show that I did, that I still do. And then later on in my career, I did talk radio, which I hated. But the comedy stuff, I do the comedy stuff again now, and I love the comedies. I love it, but it's a different personality. This is the real me. So that's why I sort of that's why I sort of separate it. But I'll let you guys, if you guys want to come watch it, I'll let you know where to find it. And I think there's some people who have found it already, but yeah, it's online every morning. And I do it live on YouTube and Facebook and a whole bunch of places. So what's top 5 heroes characters? All right, what do I like? I love Batman. I love Nightwing. Not necessarily in that order. Nightwing's number 1 sometimes. Batman's 1 sometimes. I love Spider-Man. I like, of course, I like Captain America. I like I mean, I like everybody. My favorites, oh my God. My favorites gotta be Nightwing, Batman. Nightwing, Batman. Probably Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Barry Allen Flash. There you go. There's my DC. My Marvel, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, and the Fantastic Four. Just top 5. I'm just picking top 5 each thing. And then I like Geiger. Oh, I like Redcoat, Geiger, Invincible. Although Run's dead, but I know the Run's no longer going. But Invincible is coming back, you guys, because Image is doing a thing where Image is doing a thing where they're doing crossovers between I don't know if it's just covers or issues, but they're doing Invincible crossovers with all the mainstream Image stars. So it's Redcoat, Geiger, Rook Exodus, The Seasons. I'm trying to think of Capes. I'm trying to think what all the Impact heroes are, but they're doing a big crossover thing this late spring. I really want to see a Green Arrow during Connor Hawk's time. Yes! Give us some I'd love Connor Hawk is in the Lazarus tournament, guys. Connor Hawk, I don't want to give spoilers, but Connor Hawk plays a major part of the Robin. I was talking about the Robin paperbacks earlier. Connor Hawk is in the Lazarus tournament. And Connor Hawk's awesome. I love Connor Hawk. By the way, Jay says, I use Goodreads to keep track. Is Goodreads an app? Is that an app? To keep track of what I've read. I do ratings on League of Comic Geeks. That's where I keep all my books, and then I also, here's my ratings. Here's my Chubbyray reviews and ratings. So you can give books out of 5 stars and give a ratings. That's where I keep track. But I'll have to check Goodreads. If it's an app, I'll have to get it. God bless. Oh, thanks, Tagard. God bless you, man. Absolute Batman Volume 2. Oh, dude, I am so ready for it. I bought, you know what, Throwhill? Pissed me off so much. I actually bought that from Amazon. A lot of times I won't use Amazon to get. I bought it from Amazon because sometimes Amazon, if you have an Amazon warehouse in your town, we have one here, you'll get books on Monday. There have been sometimes I've gotten books on Monday. So I bought Absolute Batman from Amazon in hopes that this would be one of the weeks that they provide the books early. But no, this is not one of the weeks. Yeah. And it's coming tomorrow. It's coming tomorrow, which sucks. It sucks because I'm really hoping. I was hoping for it to come today, and that's not the case. By the way, members, channel members, the haul video, this week's haul video is available for members now. Jules says, mi hermano, how did you know your wife was the one? You know what? That's weird. I met my wife. I had a friend of mine came to town. I had a friend of mine come to town to do radio with me. He was living in St. Louis. I was down in Texas. And I talked him into coming down to radio with me. He came to town to do radio with me. I wanted to show him a good weekend because he was coming to town brand new. So I knew this girl. I knew a girl from going out to the bars. I became friends with this girl, and I wanted to show my friend a good time. So I told her, I said, hey, my friend's coming to town. Well, you go out with him when he comes to town. And she agreed. So my friend came to town. She hooked up with him. And then, we just went about our lives. But the girl she fell gaga over my friend. And so this girl, my wife didn't know her, but my wife was at a party in Corpus Christi, and that girl was there. And she was at the party with some friends, and my wife was there. My wife says, well, I'm going to run out to Whataburger and get a whatever. And that girl says, would you mind giving me a ride if you're going to take? She goes, yeah, no problem. So the girl got in the car with my wife. And so my wife is driving to the Whataburger, and the girl says, hey, could you pull over at this bar? There's a bar called Baba Ruba's at the time. She says, will you do me a favor, pull over at Baba Ruba's? My wife goes, oh, I thought I'm going to Whataburger. She goes, just drop me off. And my wife goes, okay. So my wife drops her off at Baba Ruba's to see my friend. Now, this is before cell phones. My friends were smoking outside, and when they went to smoke, I would go outside with them because, I was on the radio. So people, they kind of knew us. And this Baba Ruba's, it was a big bar, and it was filled with 21 to 25-year-olds. It was crazy. It was, this was late 80s, early 90s type partying, which was everybody went out and they just got nuts. But if you had any little bit of fame, it was kind of, and I don't think I was ever famous, but they all knew who I was. And so it was, if you were just there trying to relax, it was kind of annoying, so we would kind of go, they had a backstage area. So we would kind of go backstage with the management and these guys that we knew from the bar, and they would go outside and smoke. So I was outside in the manager's smoking area talking to these guys, and we see this car pull up, and this girl gets out of the car, and she knew that that's where we'd hang out. And she starts walking towards that way to go see my friend. And the girl that's driving the car gets out of the car to see if her friend's okay. And I saw this girl, Jules. I saw her, and I was like, oh my God, that is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. And my wife was maybe 100. She was small, like 105 pounds. And that's too thin. But at the time she was beautiful. She was just beautiful. She had, big 90s hair, and She was just gorgeous. And I fell in love with her shape and her looks first. And I just fell in love with her. But then I'm like, I got to meet this girl. And I told my friend, I said, I got to meet that girl. And so my roommate, who was a sales guy at the radio station, went with me, and we walked up to her, and we found out that she was a front desk manager at a hotel, or she was a front desk manager at a hotel or whatever she was. And he also could tell that this girl had no interest in me. And so my roommate says, he goes, hey, you're because my wife's, we were talking to her long enough to where she said, my friend said, I know. She goes, oh, I'm the front desk manager of the Holiday Inn, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, yeah. And I tried to talk to her, and she was just like shutting me down. She wanted nothing to do with me. She didn't know who I was or anything. And, but my friend knew that I wanted her phone number, and he goes, hey, he goes, let me get your number. Because the radio station's got blah, blah, blah going on. And she gave him a business card, and she wrote her number. She wrote her home phone number on the back of the business card and said, yeah, just have them get hold of me. And so there's a little more to the story, but that's paraphrasing. So I called her. I literally called her every night. I called her every night for like 2 weeks, asking her out, and she wouldn't do it. And finally, there was a charitable event. We were helping I don't know if it was a Make-A-Wish Foundation. We were helping somebody. I think it was a Make-A-Wish Foundation. We were doing a celebrity auction. And so I called her and I said, I'm just going to try again. Would you be interested in going to the celebrity auction for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, blah, blah. And she said, oh, for that. Yeah, I would go. And so she agreed to go on a date with me. And she showed up for a date. And I mean, we talked the whole night. We were around famous people at the celebrity auction and stuff, but I just looked in her eyes and talked. We talked all night. And by the end of that night, I was ready to ask her to marry me. I just fell in love. I fell deeply in love with her that night, and the rest of my life, we've been together ever since. And that was 30 some odd years ago. And she's my best friend. I just love her. I was very lucky. That's how I fell. It's not much of a story. It's just, I fell in love with her looks first, but after I talked to her, just to let you know, she would not go. I tried everything. I had Spurs tickets. I had concert tickets. I had backstage pass. Not interested. Wouldn't even talk to me. Make-A-Wish Foundation, she agreed to go out with me. I feel like I was a Make-A-Wish kid, but yeah, and fell in love with her. There you go. That's how it happened. That's the story, Jules. Aaron says the station I was on was WCNR in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. I'll be damned. You live in New York City now. Awesome, buddy. That's cool. That's very cool. Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania is, I used to work in Youngstown, Ohio when I was 19, 20 years old. It was my first radio. My first morning show was in Youngstown, Ohio. And I worked there, and I was fired, and I had to go down to WDVE, I think is the name of the station. It's a station in Pittsburgh. There's a station in Pittsburgh that was nice enough to let me use their studio to put together my tape. I had to get tape sent out, and they were nice enough to let me do it. So I don't know if you're in that side of Pennsylvania or the east side, but I have fond memories of Western Pennsylvania because a radio station in Pittsburgh let me use their facilities when I was out of a job, which was very nice. Star says, Crisis on Infinite Earth is my favorite comic story of all time. I love, oh, Star, you don't want to get me started. You do not want to get me started on Infinite. Oh my God. I could show you a quadruple dip of Infinite Crisis. I've got the trade. I've got the trade paperback. I have the deluxe. I have the omnibus, of course. I have an absolute edition, and I have what else do I have? Something else. And I'm quadruple dipping, but it's not a deluxe edition. But I have, what the hell is it? I have 4 versions of it. But I know I have, I have a hardcover. I have a hardcover and a paperback of Infinite Crisis. I love Infinite Crisis, one of my favorite of all time too. I love that story. Oh, I love it. What's Joshua Williamson? Oh my God, Joshua Williams. Jay, I used to respect you, man. I used to respect you. Joshua Williamson had a fantastic run on The Flash. He wrote the Flash Rebirth era. There have been 2 omnibuses. Volume 3 is coming out this July. He wrote Robin. Fantastic. He wrote Batman. Fantastic. He now writes Superman. Fantastic. He wrote Green Arrow. And his Green Arrow run is amazing. He wrote Dark Crisis. Remember the DC event Dark Crisis? Yeah, that's Joshua Williamson. He wrote Dark Crisis. He just wrote Iron Man. This book came out last week, and it's amazing. I'm sorry. You'll find out what I think Wednesday when the review comes out. Because I'm doing a video. Yeah, Joshua Williamson. Joshua Williamson is one of my top 3 writers currently. I love Joshua Williamson. He's writing Legion of Superheroes. I'm so ready. Mundane says, I recently bought the first comic my dad bought me as a kid. So many memories came from that issue. That's amazing. But when you read that issue, the joy that you felt from reading it, part of it's subliminal, and you're remembering your father fondly. I mean, hopefully your father's still alive, but if he's not, you're remembering, and I don't know what your relationship with your father's like now, even if he's alive, but definitely when you were a child, your relationship with him was great, and you're remembering that, and it's bringing you warmth and joy. That's why I love comics, man. Daredevil. I talked earlier about my father, just a little bit, but I talked about my father, and we didn't have a great relationship. But I do remember one time we were driving from the town I lived in we were driving to the eastern side of Illinois, almost to Indiana. And I was reading a Daredevil, an early issue of Daredevil in the back seat. And I was just contemplating Matt Murdock and being sightless and all that stuff. And I get into the Silver Age Daredevil books. And I'm talking Silver Age stuff because it was an old Daredevil. I was reading, it was in the 1970s when I was reading it, but it was definitely from the 60s. But I go back and read, I read from Daredevil Volume 1. And I'm reading some of these stories. And I'll be damned if I don't remember laying in the back seat of this car, of a station wagon, while my dad's driving us to the eastern side of Illinois. He's screaming to shut the hell up. He's smoking He's smoking a Camel non-filter, even though he's got 6 kids in the back of the car. That's life in the 70s, man. And I get that warm feeling, because I got along with my dad when I was 5 years old, when I was 7 years old. I got along with my dad really well. My dad and I used to share comics. Oh my God, he got sick of dementia. I took care of him. Oh my God. He didn't understand much, but he would flip through and look at the pictures. Yeah. He would quietly say, wow, if he liked one. That's an amazing story, NF. Thanks, man. Hey, Ray, I'm here very late. Hope you had a good day. I did, brother. I really did. I'm 64 years old and I need to use a headlamp just to read my comics. That's how bad my eyes. I know the feeling, Jose. I know the feeling, Jose. I'll show you. Here's what I got. And I've got to use this tonight. I will be using this tonight to read my comics. Huh? And you turn the lights on and yep. That's how friggin' old we are. That's how old we are. I got this. I'm using this tonight. That's how I'm going to read my comics. It's so tragic. It's just, you guys, you young guys, getting old sucks, man. I can't. I used to play basketball, football, baseball, played in a band. I was so happy when I was young. God. Now I got rickety knees and I don't have to wear readers yet, but I'm dangerously close. Sucks. Top 5 heroes for Star Jones, guys. Here we go. Green Lantern, Flash, Cyclops, Batman, Spider-Man. Wow. Green Lantern, which is it? Hal Jordan? Is Hal Jordan one or, Zach wants to know favorite Image comic. Red Coat, Geiger, Invincible. Red Coat, Geiger. Let's see. I like Rook Exodus, but I can't put on this. There's so many that I can't. I read so many. You see, is it dead? Because I love Letter 44 was Image, but it's not a continuing series. So, right? It's one of my favorite books I've ever read, but it's not a continuing series. So how do you, an Image isn't really continuing. But by the way, Robert Kirkman's Wolfman's really good. That Wolf, oh my God. There's a lot of good stuff. There's so much. By the way, I'm shocked by how many Kirkman compendiums that I own now. It really is amazing. Yeah, I love, what don't I love? I love all Image. I love it. And all my independent books are in my bedroom now. So I can't just grab them because the only thing I have at my disposal now is DC and Marvel. Everything else, I got to go to a different room. Dan says Red Coat's his all-time favorite. Yeah. Followed by anything Star Wars except Rogue Squadron. Yeah, Red Coat is so good. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Red Coat movie. I think it's going to be great. By the way, Star says that it's just covers for Invincible to celebrate the new season of animated series. But man, I can't wait. Those covers are going to be awesome. So they're not actually doing team-ups in the books. Oh, that would have been cool. All right. Federico says, I remember the first comic book I saw was one of the first Metamorpho issues his dad bought in the late 1965. The first one he bought was Legion Space Odyssey in 1969. Metamorpho. That's awesome. Did you like the Superman movie? My dad left us a few months later, but oh my God. He died young. Or did he die or just leave? Because mine just left. He died last year, but yeah. I hope he didn't. God, that's either way, it's tragic. The experience of seeing a comic book hooked me for life. Yeah, and Legion of Superheroes has made my life better, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I hope that Joshua Williamson is prime Joshua Williamson. Just awesome. Ray's a real comic fan because you ask him to name top 5 and he picks 5 from every company. Yeah, no, that's because Ray's undisciplined. That's because Ray's undisciplined and is very weak. I can't just keep it to one. I'm too weak-willed. I would be a horrible Green Lantern. I think Simpsons comics from the drugstore or grocery store are my first one. Oh, that's awesome. They came with Burger King kids meals and Revenge of the Sith comics. That's awesome, dude. We had, I remember Star Wars. Star Wars came out in 1977. I was a poor kid, so we didn't have money to go to the movies. We had to wait till when it finally came to the dollar show, or the dollar show was in 1978. But Star Wars they put out, it wasn't a comic, but it was sort of a comic at Burger Chef. It was Burger Chef and Jeff, And if you went there, you got either a Luke Skywalker, a Han Solo, an Obi-Wan Kenobi, or the droids. I didn't know who any of the people were. I didn't have money. To go to the movies. Eventually, I would see it when my uncle's in Chicago. My Uncle Steve, who's still alive, love my Uncle Steve. Uncle Steve's only a couple years older than me, but he came down to get us, or they came down to get us and brought us up to Chicago in the fall. And my Uncle Steve and Uncle Michael took me to the movies to go see Star Wars. That's when I saw it. But I remember we got a ride to the Burger Chef. My brother Rick and I, we got a ride with someone to the Burger Chef, which is in a different city. We lived in one town. This other city was off of Interstate 55, and it was called Litchfield, and they had a Burger Chef there. And you're gonna think I'm crazy. We went, and they had a dumpster, and we hung out by the dumpster. We literally were 10 years old, 6 years, 8 years old. We were 8 years old. Or I was 8 years old. And we hung out near the dumpster, garbage dumpster, and waited for people to throw away the thing so we could see it. And it was Han Solo. And I didn't know who Han Solo was because I had never seen the movie. I didn't even know his name. But I got the Han Solo thing. It was Han Solo, Burger Chef, and Jeff. I don't know what Burger Chef and Jeff were doing in space with Han Solo, but in this, it wasn't a comic. It was like a poster thing. It had Burger Chef and Jeff with Han Solo, and that was my introduction to Star Wars. Standing near the Burger Chef dumpster to get it out of the garbage. It's a great memory. Hey, Madden, congratulations, brother. Congratulations on your prize, dude. That's awesome. Carl says, you must know I'm lacking in the Marvel department. Is it Marvel? Did you misspell, or are you saying, or you mean to say morals? You're lacking in morals. Goodreads is an app website. They keep a database of all books that have been published. Oh, yeah. Oh, awesome. I'll have to find it. Yeah, I like League of Comic Books, League of Comic Geeks because of that. But I'll have to get into Goodreads. Let's see. I'm trying to. I got to wrap up. My wife is letting me know I got to go eat. We haven't eaten yet. When Ray was first on the radio, the music was still black and white. It was back in black. That's what the music was when I was first on the radio. It wasn't just black and white. It was back in black. I'm hoping Williamson's run. Dude, I'm hoping Joshua Williamson's Legion run is epic. I hope it's unforgettably epic. Ray, have you read Spider-Man 2099? No, I've never read any 2099 books. Yeah, I've heard it. I know he's Mexican. I've never read it. And I've never read Doom 2099 or anything. I've never read any 2099 stuff. Carl says, my mom was killed May 30th, 2025. She got T-boned by a truck. Oh my God. I definitely relate to comic book therapy. Been doing it so. Oh my God. That is horrible, man. Sorry to hear that, brother. That's terrible. Terrible. Oh my God. And you're 54. That is terrible. So your mom, God damn. That is terrible. My mother is still alive. God bless. Still alive. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do when she goes. I mean, I know it's inevitable. She's going to go at some point, but I don't know how I'm going to handle it. But I know that comics will be part of the grieving process for me. I know that comics will soothe me in some way. They do. Comic books. You guys know what I'm talking about. A hobby like comic books, it soothes you. They soothe you. They really do. Dude, I read a lot. I read a lot in bed too. And I'll use this tonight in bed. Favorite comic adaptation? Gotta be Star Wars, please. Star Wars is great. I'm setting up all my epic collections in the front room, in my alcove in the front room, and it's all epic collections. And there's so many Star Wars. Oh my God, it is amazing. It's amazing. The Star Wars stuff, and there's so much I haven't read. There are still so many Star Wars legend. There's so many Star Wars books that I have to read. And don't get me wrong, the modern epic collections, the Jason Aaron Star Wars is phenomenal. But going back and reading some of that stuff that was on Dark Horse, it's amazing. It is amazing. Using headlights to read, it's not going to stop us from enjoying the comics. Yep. Young guys in these groups now, one day you'll be doing it. And we hope I hope that you guys are enjoying the same comics too. I hope that comics never go away. I remember like 10 years ago when people were saying that digital's going to take over. No, it isn't. No, because digital is never going to replace. They're never going to replace the feeling that I have by having this book in my hand. Digital is not going to replace that. Holding an iPad does not feel the same as holding an omnibus. Saga Deluxe Edition Volume 1 arrives in a day for me. Dude, the Saga Compendium is so fantastic. Brian K. Vaughan's a great writer, and Saga's an amazing, amazing story. I was born in 86. My first experience with Star Wars was watching on VHS with my mom and dad. Dude, that's awesome. I remember, I'm so freaking old. I remember Star Wars came out on television on CBS. It came out in theaters in 1977. But it didn't hit regular television until after 1980. And I remember I was either in junior high school or high school, and some kid in the high school had a party at his house with beer and a keg, and I remember going to his house, and I wanted to go to the party and try to get girls and all that stuff. But the main reason that I was there was because this kid was rich, he had some money, and Star Wars was debuting on network TV. It was on CBS, and it was going to be at 7:00 Central, 8:00 Eastern. And this guy had, and TVs used to be, TVs in the 70s and 80s were completely different. We didn't have TVs like they do. You young guys, you don't understand. You don't understand. Dude, I did not get color television. I didn't get color television until 1984. That's when we first got color television, 1984. I remember because the Chicago Cubs, my team, made the playoffs that year. And I got to see games in color because 2 reasons. My grandparents brought their color TV down from Chicago. My grandpa, my abuelo, he drove his television from Chicago. He brought it down to my family in South Central Illinois because they got a new one. And he brought us their color TV. And because my brother Rob, my late brother Rob, he borrowed shoes. He borrowed shoes from this guy. And he climbed the telephone pole with these shoes. He had shoes that allowed him, this is the craziest thing, but they were like these boots, and the heel of the boot had this spike thing on the inside heel. There was a little spike thing that stuck out like this. Okay. And my brother climbed the telephone pole, and this guy he smoked pot with got him coax cable because the guy went to some place near I think he went to a cable company, which was near the junkyard, and they somehow got their hands on coax cable. And my brother climbed up the telephone pole and tapped into the cable and ran it an illegal cable feed into my house. And we watched the Chicago Cubs on WGN in color TV, 1984. First time. But this guy in when they showed Star Wars, I went to this guy's house. I went to the party because CBS was debuting Star Wars. And I went, and I was enjoying some beer from the keg, and I was trying to flirt with young ladies. But when 7:00, man, when that movie came on, I sat right in front of this guy's TV, and everybody's partying, and I watched Star Wars. And I don't care if Pamela Anderson would have walked in. I don't care. I was watching Star Wars, and I was enjoying Star Wars. 1984. But I think the Star Wars was earlier. But 1984 is when I got my first color TV. This kid had it in like 81 or whenever Star Wars first debuted on television. So I went to his. I didn't know him that well, but a friend of mine did. So I got to go to the party, and I watched Star Wars in color, first network showing. All right, I got to wrap up. How about you guys want to do a giveaway, and then we can wrap it up here? Let's see. 1984, dude. Wouldn't you? No, I never got a Betamax. I still don't have a Betamax. I have Betamax tapes, but I've never had a Betamax player. I did in 1999, I did a TV show. I did a wrestling TV show, and they gave me a copy of it, and it's all on Betamax, but I've never had a Betamax player, so I think it's just sitting in my garage somewhere. If I ever want to watch it, I can, but I got to get a Betamax to actually see it. So I've never had a Betamax, but I don't know when they came out, but I think they came out. I think they maybe came out in the 80s. All right, let me get the giveaway and then I'll go. I gotta go eat. Love you, Ray. Keep doing what you're doing. Oh, thanks, Carl. I appreciate it, brother. All right, guys. I want to do a giveaway for a subscriber. I'll draw that after the show. I'll do a member drawing now. By the way, I have the Frosted Flakes cup. Or no, maybe I should draw from the Corn Pops. You know what I mean? Considering Corn Pops has a lot less names in it, because Corn Pops has the names who haven't won yet, and the Frosted Flakes cup that has everybody. So there's a shitload of there's a boatload of names in that Frosted Flakes cup. All right, let's do some giveaways. What do we got here? We got first book is Aquaman Black Manta Rise. Oh, this is a good book, man. This is that Dan Abnett Rebirth run. Aquaman Black Manta Rising. Somebody's going to win this. Okay, and we have Batman Brave and the Bold, Tom King, Mitch Gerards. This is, oh my God, you guys. This is the scariest. This is the scariest freaking book. In this book, you have the Joker. I got to show you this. It is the Joker finds a little girl, a cute little girl who's just playing in the park, right? The Joker comes up and starts a conversation with her. He starts a conversation with her. And I'll leave the rest to your imagination. It is one of the most horrifying. It's one of the scariest and most horrifying and traumatic things. Oh my God. It's Tom King. And it's truly an amazing story. Okay. So I'm going to draw. I will draw a name for, I'll draw a name for a member. All right. And if the member is in the room and they win, I'll let them say which book they want. And the other one will go to the subscriber. So if they're not, I'll randomly choose. And then after the broadcast is over, I will pick one person who commented on tonight's show. Then after I pick that person, I'll and what we do is I have a number generator, and I literally, all the comments, everybody gets a number, and boom, I'll just pick one. It'll be random. And then I will take one person who commented, I'll pick that person, and they'll win whatever book I don't give the member. Okay. So let's do the member drawing. Okay, guys. Oh, by the way, Oren says, speaking of the subscriber giveaway, don't forget to announce who won. Yeah, I will. I got that. Oren, that is I told you that stuff's moving. That's in my front room right now. I'll grab that. And the name is actually inside the book. Because when I did it, I write the name on a piece of paper from this. You see this notebook right here? I write the name and then I peel it out and I put it inside the book. So that person's name is inside the book. And then my wife is the one who ships everything off. So, but I guess I got to announce the name so that they know who won. Okay, let's do the drawing. Let's do the drawing for our member. You get your choice: Aquaman, Black Manta Rising, or Batman, Brave and the Bold. Okay, here we go. The subscriber. Subscriber who wins is who is it? Chip Crisper. Chip Crisper. Chip Crisper. Chip Crisper was. Is he still in the room? Chip Crisper was in the room. Chip Crisper, you were in the room. Let me know. Do you want, if you're in there, do you want Aquaman or do you want Batman? The next one will go to a subscriber, and I will randomly pick that, and I'll announce it in an upcoming. I'll put on video who it is, and so you guys can email me. My email is chubbyraycomics@gmail.com. There's also an email. There's another email, you guys. I check both of them. I get to them no matter what. And members, you have the new haul video up. Everybody else is going to get it tomorrow morning. There's also a Nightwing. There's a review of the Nightwing book that's out, and there's going to be a review of the Iron Man review comes out Wednesday. Plus, I have a DC versus Marvel rank off number 2. I want to tell you who it is, but I'm going to hold off, and I'll let you figure it out. I'll put it up on the post, so you'll see the picture of it. I'll promote it in the post. But that's coming. That's going to be coming, I believe, Thursday. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will do another one of these some days, one day this week. Thank you so much. You guys are great. Thanks to the super chat. Thanks to Pastafarian, man. It's Pastafarian. You were great. Thank you so much. Congrats to Aaron, our new member. Cesar, thank you so much for your gift. You guys, man, it warms my heart. I just love doing these broadcasts. I love just getting on here and BSing with you guys. It's fun. Congrats to Chips Crisper and to whoever's going to win the subscriber random. Okay, guys? So what we're going to do is I will draw randomly the commenter, but I'm going to check it against our rolls. So make sure that everybody who's in here subscribes, because if you're not subscribed, you won't get the prize. By the way, I have had a winner who was not subscribed, and I didn't give him the prize, because I make that clear. You've got to be subscribed. If you're not subscribed, I'm not giving you the prize. I didn't make a big deal of it, but I check against the rolls. And trust me, it's a pain in the ass to check against the rolls, because we now have, this is how many subscribers we have. And I say we because it's not just me that's bringing in subscribers. It's this great community. This great community is what brings in these subscribers. My current subscribers total right now is 3,623 subscribers. By the way, this channel did not exist last summer. This channel was just formed. This channel was just formed in the middle of summer. At the beginning of summer last year, this channel did not exist. There are now 3,623 subscribers. Thanks. Thank you, everybody. Christopher, make sure you're subscribed, brother, because I'm going to do a drawing. And if you win it, it's yours. I'm going to randomly do it. All right, you guys. Love you all. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you later this week. Have a great night, everybody. Talk to you. Bye-bye.